There's an old saying, deals make the wheels turn. Just picked up Louis Vuitton last week. Biggest lead gen pages is the pricing page. That business generates about 50 to 100 leads per day. Because just we've got a great sales funnel and the website converts like a motherfucker. You've got to find great people and train them well. Like I want you to push back on me. The most successful people I've ever met in all my years will respond to a text and email straight away. Daddy now needs to make some money.
Amazing. We're sitting here across the table with a legend in Australia.
Definitely not a legend, but thank you.
Quick introduction. You sold your company WME for 39 million.
Long time ago now. Yeah, 2017. It's a long time ago.
And you've done too many pods on that topic. So we really
please let's park that one.
But since then, you've built 20 other companies, which is incredible. You've got over 1,000 employees across the board.
2,000 now.
2,000 now.
Yeah.
Quick duplication right there.
It's just, yeah. Anyways, 1,000's fine, but yeah, pushing 2,000. So it's been busy.
And also, obviously, Shark on the current Shark Tank in Australia.
Yep.
Which is something I want to talk about. And you also aspire to live to 120 years old.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm basically a self-guinea pig. I keep testing things on myself. And the issue with that is some things work and many things do not.
Something sets you back.
So like my liver enzymes go out of control, my pancreas gets messed up. So I'm kind of killing myself, but I'm trying to live to 150.
Wow, no, it was crazy because I was scrolling through your Instagram feed and in one of your posts, you got this photo of yourself now at 45 and also as a comparison to your past self at 34.
Yeah.
And you literally, like we're going to add this in the pod, but you literally look younger and healthier than you used to. You look even younger than Dean, was half your age. Tell us the secret.
It's true though.
Under the bus. No, you know what it was? So back then I used to be, I didn't sleep much. I partied a fair bit, just having a good time in life. And man, it shows on your skin and on your face. So don't get me wrong, I still like to have a good time. But I'm just not what I was.
You had like thousands of orders on Uber Eats as well, right?
Yeah. So in 1 year, I had over 3,000 orders on Uber Eats. Like it's insane. And then the problem is with Uber Eats, they're cooking in seed oils, I was ordering deep fried food, just nonsense. So that's all been cut as well.
And what since then, like kind of like how have you transitioned things since then? Like what's your secret to longevity and like good looking? Like, and what's your looking at?
What's the secret? There is no secret. It's, mate, half the shit I do, probably even more than half, probably doesn't even work. But what I found is if I try and eat well, like I'm sure you guys do, just like a whole diet, like it's pretty basic shit really. But then I do use things like peptides.
Yeah.
So I'm a massive advocate of peptides. So for example, I use GHK-Cu for skin. I use growth hormone peptides like testosterone. And I find these peptides give me an advantage and it helps me feel better, hopefully look a bit better, and I can train better as well.
Do you do much fasting still?
Bits and pieces, but I think fasting, it's good for some and not good for others. Meaning if you fast too much, it comes with a cost and you lose muscle mass. So guys like me who are generally quite lean and skinny, if we get too lean, it's very hard to maintain muscle. So I eat breakfast at say 9 o'clock and I finish my last meal at 6 p.m. That's pretty standard for me.
What do you think on like sort of carnivore as well?
Good question. I've had friends that have done it. It's worked for some. It hasn't worked for others. I think everyone's built differently. So carnivore may be great for you, but it may not be great for me. Yeah. So I've done carnivore. I've done carnivore with fruit and dairy, but then now I'm carnivore fruit with some vegetables. So it's not really carnivore. Now my diet's more balanced.
No, also so important, and just kind of like all the jokes aside, we've tried to crack it up a little bit in the beginning, but we first of all really want to thank you and appreciate you for taking the pod and inviting us to your office. I think thousands of entrepreneurs and business owners are going to look back at this podcast for years to come and continuously get value because we really try to talk about evergreen topics today, such as one of them, which we lightly touched upon, which is health. We also want to talk about business growth, as that's like literally like your specialty and your superpower, mindset, AI, And yeah, that's pretty much what we've got on the agenda for today.
Boys.
Now, coming back to the post WME era, where you continuously launch different companies.
Yes.
One continuous characteristics that I found across your portfolio is that each company specializes in solving a very specific problem, right? So you've got, for instance, Removify, for people that have nasty content about them online, or business owners, or something talk trash about them. You help remove that content, right? Like that's Removify.
Correct.
Outsourcing, you help businesses scale through remote talent, A-list talent across the whole world.
Yep.
Which is, again, a very niche problem. And then obviously First Page, helping businesses rank online, marketing.
Yeah.
So they're all like very specific. And just a couple of days back, I saw a LinkedIn post, you launched like a healthcare firm to improve Australia's healthcare.
Yep.
Can you elaborate on the process of identifying these pockets of opportunity, and you, with the whole team, kind of deciding, okay, this is what it is, and that's what I want to keep doing?
Yeah. Okay. So, good question. So when I launch a business, I see the opportunity that generally someone else has already been doing, but doing it poorly. So I'll give you an example. With Removify, there was a guy in Queensland that was removing online content. And I happened to come across this guy. I'm like, fuck, that's a great idea. Why isn't his business larger than it is? And I reached out to him and said, hey, I'd love to buy half of your company. And we work together. Company was only doing, I think, $400,000 or $500,000 in revenue, very little profit. I made him an offer. It was a good offer. And I said, look, I'll come in and help you run the company. We'll scale it to say 10, 20, $30 million. He rejected the offer. And I was like, okay, that's not a problem. And he was the only one doing this globally that I found. Yeah. So it was basically one guy doing this, had this great idea, but he just wasn't executing the idea properly. So, okay, I know that I can come in, execute this better, bring in my marketing skills, bring in my back end to deliver better processes and systems, and scale the business. So I generally don't come up with a new idea. I see what's working already and then evolve that idea into something that I know that I can scale and build to a $50 million company. So with Removify that I just sold 6 months ago, actually, to a private equity firm, the idea already existed. I just improved on what was already being done.
My sort of question from that is, I guess a lot of clients,
Yep.
Small business, medium business, large business, they often ask me, and I think obviously from what you said, how do you scale? Where do you start? When you look at this opportunity, what's the first thing that you look at for most businesses that you're going to sort of, is it the marketing? Is it operations? Is it something else that you look at to try and scale?
One thing that's always worked for me is the website is your foundation. So the website has to convert traffic into leads or sales, if you're e-com or a lead gen business. So I invest a lot of time into developing my website. And once I know that it's absolutely premium, it's going to convert traffic into customers or leads, then I'll switch on the marketing heavily. But too many business owners neglect the website and purely focus on the marketing. But the issue is, if you're driving all these people to this crappy website and they're bouncing off within 5 seconds, you've just wasted all your money in marketing. Mate, the website is it's a piece of gold, and it's not that hard to optimize if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, jump on YouTube and learn. Literally, that's all you need to do. If you spend 4 hours on YouTube, you can learn conversion rate optimization and learn how to optimize a website and say, okay, I need to put the phone number in the top right-hand corner. I can't have too many fields on the hero banner because people are going to bounce off. Like these basic fundamentals you can do yourself. So focus on the website, get that humming, and then drive marketing to it.
Outsourcing, for instance, that's just to add into your question. Outsourcing is just literally like a quiz. So with outsourcing, it's just like a quiz funnel. But then also that opportunity, I mean, there's so many people that have already been doing that in the past, right? So in that particular case, it wasn't just like one guy somewhere in Queensland running this opportunity. There's like a lot of companies providing talent from the Philippines, India, and stuff.
Many.
So what was the mindset kind of like there? It was sort of like, yeah,
why did I get into that space?
Yeah, because you have already like a large portfolio of.
Yeah, so I wouldn't normally get into a space that's completely saturated, but I went into business with one of my best friends, and he knows the space extremely well. So he knows the back end, I know the front end. I looked at all the competitors in the space. Their websites were garbage, and I knew they wouldn't convert. And I said, look, I can do a better job at getting leads for our sales team. So for me, it was purely, I know we can bring in more business. You handle the back end, I'll handle the front end, and we'll dominate. And as a result, that business generates about 50 to 100 leads per day. Because just we've got a great sales funnel and the website converts like a motherfucker. Literally. So if you, like I said, doesn't matter what industry it is, if you know how to generate leads for your sales team, you can win in anything. Literally, it's not that hard. Just spend a day or two on YouTube.
Can I ask with the website, is it because you mentioned a few things, design, how it looks. I know you're big on offers as well.
Yeah.
The guarantees, the hooks. Is that that's also a part of it, right? You're looking at the business, what's its current offer, what are there certain guarantees that I want to add to this?
I hate using the word guarantee. Okay, give me an example. So with outsourcing, one of our biggest lead gen pages is the pricing page. And reason being, people can select what they're after. So I want an AI developer. I want an AI researcher, blah, blah, blah. Sure. And it takes them through steps. And then from there, they get an instant quote. So they don't need to speak to a salesperson, but before they can get the quote, they need to put their details in. So they select what they want. They commit to step one. Once they're committed, step two, I ask for their personal details. I've already got commitment from them. And then step three, once they put their details in, I'll give them a quote. And then from the quote, they can then book a consult with a specialist to talk through the quote. Easy lead gen. There's no offer there, but it's interactive and it's easy for them because they can get an instant quote.
Do you in your mind already have so you started this one with your friend, which is again kind of like a unique opportunity that kind of came into your life. But do you already think, okay, I'm preparing for an exit, or you're sort of I just want to enjoy building this company, and if the exit comes, you're going to sell it?
Never think about exits.
Yeah.
Yeah, exits happen naturally. One thing I've realized over the years, if the business is profitable, it doesn't need to be sexy, but profitable, growing, and there's future growth opportunity, the buyers will come. People always knock on your door, or you just engage a business broker, pay them 1 or 2% of the total deal size, and then you pay them a monthly retainer for 6 months, and they'll find a buyer for you. So every time I've sold businesses, I've sold 2 businesses now, I just put it on the market with a broker and bang, found a buyer and sold it. So never go for an exit, always aim for profitability. These businesses that scale, but have no fucking profit, eventually it's going to come to an end. And if there's a downturn in the market and you're not profitable, you've got 100, 200 wages you've got to pay every month and you can't keep raising money, you're in deep shit. So I'm a massive fan of profitability. So I always aim to get the profitability within 3 to 6 months. And then from there, I'm like, okay, I can breathe a little, and now I can use that money to reinvest and scale the business even further.
Yeah, that was going to be my sort of next question. Have you ever gone to a position where you've bought into a business, or you started the business and it hasn't scaled as you sort of?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Could you talk through an example of that and what you actually did to get it back on track? I think that'd be, what you actually did to get it back on track. Yeah.
There are businesses I've started, and after 3 months, I knew this wouldn't take off. And you got 2 options. You can continue down the path and try and pivot, or just hope and pray it's going to get better, or you can pull the pin. And generally I pull the pin. Yeah, just give me an example. I launched a low-cost SEO service. So it was using AI to run basically the service. I had people in the Philippines doing the customer support, so it was very low touch. And the average SEO size is about $400 a month. So it's cheap. The issue is when you have low-cost SEO, the client base is generally challenging, as you would know firsthand.
Yeah.
They want everything for nothing.
Best quality, cheapest price.
Correct. And they want someone to call them every week. even though we set the expectations, they just wanted more. And we had a no contract policy so they could cancel any time. The retention was average. So you filling the bucket up, but then the bucket's got a hole in it. And it was just a lot of work to scale for little return. So I pulled the pin on that after 3 to 6 months. There's no money in it. But the new business I'm launching in the next 3 weeks called Bobbie, which is a male and female hormone optimization business. So you go online, you can get TRT for a man, for a female, HRT, peptides as well. I'm launching this business because I personally use peptides. So if I use it, I know other people will use it. And peptides is becoming quite popular with people. Like on my Instagram, people ask me all the time, oh, what peptides do you use? Where can I buy peptides? I'm like, oh, I don't know any reputable places. But I can see the demand is there. But with this business, I need to make sure the process is smooth. There's little friction, easy for customers to get their peptides and so on.
It needs a prescription, basically, right? That's the problem that you
So you need doctors.
Yeah.
But if you can make it a very smooth process for the customer, you've got a winning formula on your hands.
Yeah, awesome. Like what really impressed me, again, I hate to talk about the WMA days, but you scaled the business in the days where not many kind of acquisition channels were available, and it was just only cold calling. And what really impressed me, you mentioned within like a first 6 months or so, this business was at a monthly recurring rate of $1 million plus.
Yeah.
Can you walk me through briefly like the script, the price point, and the audience as well that you were pitching it to?
That's 17 years ago. The script, I'm sure you guys have received these emails saying, hi, John, you're on page 4 for the word carpet cleaning. I think you're on page 1. Ever seen these emails? Yeah, so I'm the godfather of that. I created that back in 2008. So I hired some guy in the Philippines to scrape email addresses from websites in Australia and basically send him an email saying, hey, hi, John, you're on page 5 for window cleaning Melbourne. And then what would happen is people would receive this email. So I was spamming everyone in Australia back in 2008, before it was even a thing. And people receive this email, respond saying, fuck off, or I'm interested.
Yeah.
So then, because I was cold call initially, and that was hard work. So then I developed this tool. And back in those days, it was evergreen. There was no one doing cold email marketing back then in 2008. So I started to release this tool. I was sending about 1,000 emails per day. I was getting probably 100 replies. And man, I was just calling, closing these deals.
What was the price point back then?
We started at say $300 a month because I was just a solo guy in my bedroom. And then we went up to say $2,000 or $3,000 a month for bigger clients. But it was very cheap back in those days. And mate, we were just closing deals like they were coming out of thin air, literally. And it was just me and another friend just calling these deals, and then we would outsource the work to India initially. And we would do the account management, I'll do the finance, the sales and so on. And the guys in India would do the tech work. But then we would have to then redo some of the tech work because the quality wasn't up to scratch. And once I had enough money, I brought all the tech in-house and got rid of the guys in India.
Yeah, Cos and I were talking about this just before. Like, how would you actually, it seems sort of, you could apply those same concepts today, right? Like cold emailing, 100%. Cold calling.
The same shit.
So the question would be, if you were to do this all over again, say WME, I mean, you'd start there, or
I wouldn't do an agency again. Okay, good example, launching Bobbie in 3 weeks. What am I going to do to build that brand? For me, it's build a personal brand on social media. To me, I'm sure you guys have heard this, brand equity is so important these days. Become an authority in a particular topic. So for me, I'm posting content around longevity and health, as you guys have seen. I don't post much business content because I'm also passionate about longevity content. And I was posting content around longevity for the past couple of years. I'm like, I need to do something with this. Like there's no, I'm like, okay, I'm going to launch Bobbie. And as a result, that will feed into Bobbie and probably generate 1,000 or 2,000 new customers.
Wow.
Easily. Yeah. So to anyone listening to this podcast, if you don't feel comfortable getting in front of a camera, get comfortable. Build your personal brand. I know it's a pain in the ass and you may look like a dickhead, but it really does work. Like a great example, Dave Fogarty, who owns Oodie, and now he's doubled down on e-com. So he's got Daily Mental and millionaires.com, which is around e-com training and teaching to become an e-com.
It's a subscription model he runs.
Yeah, and he's killing it. Smart. And his YouTube content is around e-com. So, and Jane Lou, Shopo, like it works. So for me, definitely build your personal brand, and then from there, fix your website, as you mentioned earlier. Like I spent this morning redoing parts of the Bobbie website. I'm like, okay, we can make this convert better. We can fix this, adjust this. I spent like past 4 hours doing it. It's so important. And then from there, you can do cold email marketing if it's done properly. I'd also be doing SEO and paid media around Meta, Snapchat, TikTok, maybe LinkedIn, depends on the product, and Google Ads. Yeah. And then build out your affiliate channel as well.
Tell us about the podcast strategy that you have for your podcast Get Harder. I know there's like younger viewers watching this as well, so it's not like a sexual show or anything.
Well, mate, hey, Bonnie Blue reached out to me.
Yeah, well, really?
Yeah. She reached out saying, hey, can I come into your podcast?
You let her on.
And I was like, what? Bonnie, what do you want to come on my podcast for? This little podcast. And I said, I considered it, but then I decided not to.
I was talking to my partner Sandra about this. She's the number one marketer in the world right now.
Bonnie Blue. Yeah, no, it would have been great for the potty. Yeah. I understand that, but I just chose not to. It's not the message I'm trying to portray.
Of course. Yeah.
But it would have blown up. Yeah. So, and actually another thing, if you can get onto other people's podcasts, it's free, and just reach out to people. Say, hey, can I come into your podcast? Cost you nothing.
Yeah.
So there's a company called Everlab. They do full body screening. So check for cancer, heart disease, blah, blah, blah. I think the founders have been going on many podcasts promoting Everlab, and smart, because it's just getting the brand out there. And I recommend all business owners do that as well.
And it's actually, now to be frank, something that we genuinely love doing as well. Like we work from home and that's fantastic. But from time to time, we're like, Dean and I are scratching our head and it's like, who should we get on the pod? And we had some few like billionaires and some like really high wealth individuals. And we always just love meeting like interesting people and just talk about business. And that's kind of like, that kind of became kind of the Freedom podcast we do from time to time. But that's also an opportunity for ourselves. We identified as like just having an agency or just doing something is no longer enough. Like you really need to get out of your shell. Like you need to get your face out there, share your ideas, and show who you are. Otherwise, it's just people just not going to do business with you.
Yeah. On that, I even if you're a small business, like I've got a lot of clients that say we don't want to put our face out there. We just want to hide behind the brand and we'll post some photos. I think what you just said, it doesn't matter if B2B, B2C, e-com, whatever you want. You've just got to jump on a podcast, put your face out there.
Yeah. I think 10 years ago, you could have got away with just the basics, SEO, Google ads, and maybe Facebook ads back in the day. Now it doesn't cut the mustard. Like you need to be on pods, you need to be creating content yourself, or using influencers to create content on your behalf. To me, it's just a no-brainer.
So thus far, we talked about kind of like startups, right? So you just mentioned a few startups. We've also talked about like one of your biggest exits. I was also curious around business duplication. So once you've got a business concept proven, which is first page, you guys started in Singapore and then duplicated it to Australia and Hong Kong. And for me, like, just what we really thought of, what was really interesting is like, what do you do the first thing you duplicate a business out? Like which teams do you hire? Is it the salespeople? Do you fix the operations? Kind of.
Yeah, good question. So
process.
There's an old saying, deals make the wheels turn. So if there's no deals, there's no company. So the first people I hire when I launch a new agency, and I won't launch anymore, because I'm not sure. I don't want to do agencies anymore. So I've been doing it for 17 years. I think anyone listening to this podcast, you've been doing something for so long, you need a new challenge. You need to pivot into something else to really challenge what you do. Yeah. So that's why I moved into healthcare. But with agencies, they're quite a challenging business, as you guys know. They're quite challenging because, one, there's a lot of competition, and two, there's a lot of moving parts in agencies. But when I launch a new agency, and I just say I've gone from, say, Singapore to Australia, first people I hire is a salesperson and generally an account manager. And then I will outsource the work back to Singapore because I've got offices across the globe. But if I was a brand new person that had no budget, no existing businesses, I would personally just jump on the phone myself and close opportunities, outsource the work overseas like I did with WME in the early days, save enough money up, and then bring the work back onshore. If you can't find great people overseas, that's what I would do. You don't necessarily need to hire people onshore. Like these days, you can hire everyone offshore if they want to work remote, because most people now these days want to work online, fully remote.
And I actually also found with hiring employees offshore, like we've got Australian staff and also offshore, is that people like talent in the digital marketing space, some people like to love traveling, but they're a really good designer. They can really like draw things really well. And those are kind of the people that I'm personally looking for. People like with like a very attention to detail and like someone that can really deliver high quality work. Now you've got over 2,000 employees yourself. What are some of the, some of the challenges that you've overcome with hiring such a large amount of employees and keeping them motivated and excited about the work and training them up and everything?
So I'm personally, and this is my personal opinion, I'm not a believer in full remote. And the reason being, I believe it's very hard to maintain a level of culture when everyone works from home. When I'm in the office with the team, the energy's high, they're drinking the Kool-Aid, like they want the company to win. When people are at home, it's very hard to build that kind of culture and I'm in the company, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, I'm with you to the end. It's hard. So all our team come into the office, not 5 days a week, 3 days a week, and we can maintain that level of culture because they see what I do and they can see that I'm into the company and it inspires them, and they also inspire me to be better. If I see them working hard and getting in early, leaving late, I'm like, okay, fuck, I need to work harder because you're outdoing me here. And monkey do what monkey see. If I see them, they see me, we're going to push each other to win.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that on one of your podcasts or a video when things are sort of down in terms of a sales perspective, and the presence of the founder is very important.
Very important.
You know, you actually coming back and saying, "Hey guys, I think you said, hey guys, what's going on?"
Yeah. So yeah, well, I always say if you want a job, work from home. If you want a career, work in the office. And I firmly believe that. I will never promote anyone that works fully remote. It's just my personal opinion. But even now, if we're behind in our retention target or the tech team's not delivering where they need to be or the sales are behind, that team needs to come in 5 days a week until we catch up.
There's a correlation between that.
No, we've measured it. So
yeah.
Our systems measure productivity because a lot of our work is task-based. So we can see that this task should take you 10 minutes. But why does the same task at home take 30 minutes? Because we can see it in our system. It's just the way it's built.
Yeah.
And what we've found is on work from home days, on average, there's a 27% drop in productivity.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we've measured it. But the issue is, if you bring people in 5 days per week, do you lose half the team?
Yeah.
So you've got to find that balance of the risk versus reward. So I'm pro office, but there's obviously pushback.
Yeah, a question Cos and I also discussed is like, what do you think motivates people to work for you? you know, because I mean, I think it's obviously, you know, everybody's different. Some people are motivated for money, for a certain task, promotion.
Yeah.
On average, do you find that, and this is a discussion that we've been having a lot, if you give people bonuses, do they always perform better? I mean, that's an interesting, question I want to ask you.
So within my company is a core group of people I work with closely day to day. They're not driven by money. They're driven by the speed at what we work at. They're always on to a degree. I might message them at 7 a.m. or 8 p.m. I don't expect a response, but they generally respond. And they've been with me now for 5 years, these people. And I pay them well, don't get me wrong, but they're not driven by money. They don't ask for pay rises every 6 months. Their salary is reviewed every year, but they get to work on cool stuff. Like I give them exciting projects. So we're working on the new telehealth platform. We've been working on an iGaming business. Like they're working on cool stuff. That's what excites them, not the money.
Yeah.
And I challenge them and they challenge me and they're direct with me. They tell me to piss off, which I love. Like I want you to push back on me. Don't let me dictate the terms. If you think I'm wrong, tell me I'm fucking wrong, but tell me why I'm wrong. And we've got that relationship. So I think they're loyal because I'm in the trenches with them and they see what I do and I see what they do. And it just works.
So what about offshore staff then? Because I think that's also another question. You know, we spoke about
they bounce. It's all about money.
It's all about money.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
I find with offshore staff, it's money, give them flexibility because many have side hustles. And for me, it's very hard to maintain a relationship with someone that works offshore.
Yeah.
I'm not going to jump on a call every day with them and call them. I want to sit in the office and chat to them face to face.
It's purely transactional in the startup stage.
I find it is.
It's purely. Yeah, it. That's a very interesting.
That's what I found anyway.
And you think even with incentives that way, it just doesn't matter. It's just it's a pure transaction.
Pay them well, they'll probably stay. But I'm all for paying people really well, but I also want productivity out of you. So, and I find with remote people, not all, but many lack the focus and discipline to work remote. Some are great, especially the more mature ones who don't get distracted by Netflix or day trading, crypto. I mean, I've seen everything. Many have side hustles, but the ones that are mature are just like head down, bum up, and they're fucking working. And all I ask is, give me 8 hours a day of fucking solid work. That's all I ask. No overtime ever. If you give me that, I'll be happy. But I found guys. I had one guy. Oh fuck! Because we can see what work to do. One guy was averaging 1 or 2 hours a day of work at best. Yeah. Literally at best. And I actually happened to pick up. And I'm like, I can see what this guy's not doing any work. He's been doing no work for the past year.
What's he doing?
Correct. Because his manager wasn't managing him properly and thought he was busy but wasn't checking the data. So that's why I'm anti-remote. In my businesses, you can't hide.
I mean, we often have this conversation, especially for us, you know, do we continue, obviously in the startup stage, do we continue with the offshore at what point? But I think that makes a lot of sense. But exactly what you just said. Yeah. I think
how you could structure it is you give them deliverables. So you pay per project. So there's a company in Singapore that has all their staff remote, but there's no day rates or hourly rates. It's projects, pay per project. So it forces them or encourages them to work faster to get paid faster.
Yeah, I like what you said with people being really inspired when they work on a big project or something new, something exciting. What really impressed me is the amount of Fortune 500 companies that you guys work with on the digital.
Just picked up Louis Vuitton last week.
Which one?
Louis Vuitton.
Whoa, Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, I don't know how they want us for SEO. I don't know why they need SEO.
Yeah.
That is a crazy one.
Crazy one.
They need SEO.
Mate, Louis Vuitton, I'm like, they do need it.
Yeah.
But we've got crazy brands.
How do you get, the question is how do you get into the doors? How do you get those conversations with such huge names and brands? Is it because of your presence online and people?
No. It's purely we've delivered a great outcome for this existing customer. but then the marketing manager moves to a new company and then brings us along. Yeah, that's really how it works for us. So these companies in Australia, they're generally, the larger companies are signed up by Mediacom and all these larger agency groups. So we don't really get a look in. But these other brands like Louis Vuitton, they came through our Singapore office. And then that's now trickled in through Australian business as well. But it's through the marketing manager that's brought us in. Or it could be an ex-employee who's now the marketing manager at this company and they bring us in.
So this person might in the future go to Gucci or somewhere else.
Hoping. We've got Rolex. We've got all these major brands.
Do you mind sharing Rolls Royce? Like that's personally when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's Rolls-Royce. David Ogilvy has this legendary campaign with like the loudest object when you drive a Rolls Royce is the clock. So that was like his big headline, how they were promoting Rolls Royce back then. Do you mind sharing like how that deal came along?
I don't know how Rolls Royce came along. I'd love to tell you. No, I just don't know. Yeah, we've got like 4,000 clients. So
yeah, cool. I think the biggest question that I have when I look at and I obviously admire someone like yourself, I really ask, how do you have the mental capacity to do all these things? Start up new companies. Like for me, Cos and I talk, and we're worried about when one client's ad account goes down. It's the back of our mind, and
I hate when that happens.
But you've got all these companies that you're setting up, and all these things. Like how do you feel about it, and how do you maintain? Because we get quite emotional about some of these things as well.
You got a million of these problems, like at any given time.
Our ad accounts went down end of last year. Google was hacked. It wasn't even us; it was hacked. And our ad accounts were down for a week. So imagine that, ad accounts down for a week, and we've got major brands. And we're Google, we're on the phone to Google every day. Even I was calling Google. I rang the CEO of Australia at Google. I said, hey, this is a fucking real issue. We need to, because our media spends hundreds of millions. I said, we need to get these campaigns live again because the clients are threatening to sue us, even though they kind of weren't. I put that pressure on Google. We got it resolved, but that kind of stuff keeps me up at night.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it does keep me up at night.
When big things like that
When big things happen, which impact everyone.
Of course, yeah.
But how do I manage so many different businesses? And because each business is very different. So we're moving into healthcare, iGaming, and we've got our existing businesses already. It's so cliche, but I delegate really well. So I've got a guy who'll project manage certain tasks for me. I've got another person named Kelly who will look after the website upgrades and copy and design. So I've got a core group of people that I delegate work to. I will review the work, but then they will execute it on my behalf. And it's very hard to scale and do multiple businesses when you've got D-grade people around you. So I recommend to everyone here, surround yourself with A players are hard, very hard to find, but at least B players. Like get B players. And if you think they're a D player or a C player, get rid of them, replace them. Like you've got to find great people and train them well. Like invest time, spend time with them, sit with them, train them, teach them, and over 6 months they'll become great. But as long as they're smart at the start. If they're a dummy, exit them. But if they've got smarts and common sense, train them really well and they'll deliver you millions.
But there's also your daily routine. Like, obviously I watched a YouTube video with a sauna, the Alpine. Myself was inspired by yourself. But the way you structure your day, does that help? And just having mental clarity, if you know exactly what's going on at every point? Or because for me, if I was in your position, I'd be thinking at all these things at once and I'd just be totally confused.
No. So I get up at 5 and then I'm straight onto my phone because I've got to look at messages from our European offices. So I jump on that and then I do my little routine of, say, Ice Bath and other bits and pieces. And at 7 a.m., I'm on the laptop and I clear my emails out. And I go, okay, this is what I'm going to do today. And every morning I've got a handwritten to-do list. It's old school. But instead of using Trello, I just write down exactly what I've got to do today. Man, it's old school, but it fucking works. And I just go, okay, I don't write down everything. These are the top 3 things I must accomplish today. and I make sure that I get them done, and I don't stop until they're done, whether it's 5 p.m., 8 p.m., or 10 p.m. And I just get them done, and then that's it. New day.
Do you have an assistant as well? So you're just able to manage it all yourself? It's all.
Yeah,
that's really impressive.
Yeah, no personal assistant. I had one, but I didn't have much work for her. I like to manage my own diary.
Yeah.
So I just didn't have any work for her. Yeah. Like I said to you, surrounding yourself with good doers. Yeah, doers. And I stress that word, doers. There are talkers. Yeah. And we all know the talkers. And there are fucking doers. And I've hired many talkers over the years, and they talk really well, and they sell you in the interview. And when it comes to delivering, they're hopeless. And without delivering, there is nothing. Even when I invest into a new business, within the first month, I go, oh, this is a bad deal because he or she is a talker, but not a doer. They say they're going to do it, they miss the deadline. They're going to say, Nick, I'll get back to you. They get back to me 2 days later. The real people that are successful in life, no matter how wealthy they are, if you email them or text them, they'll generally come back to you straight away. The most successful people I've ever met in all my years will respond to a text and email straight away. Not 2 days later or 3 days later, hey, sorry, I missed this, or sorry, I've been busy. That's fucking nonsense.
Yeah, like that. I'm definitely aligned with you on that. Yeah.
I find there's a kind of two categories of people. I've stumbled upon this like across the hiring process many times. Like I hire someone and it's like, oh yeah, this person is good. And then they can follow the SOPs. You can train them up and they can do the project to your requirements. But then there's like the second one, and I guess like that's the A players. They can also iterate upon your own work and make it even better over a period of time. Right. And I found those, like the latter is like very hard for people to find.
Yes.
People can duplicate it, but they can't like really iterate and get out of the shell.
Yes. But the real A players work with speed. And whether that's you're an employee and part of a team, which is fine, or you're a multimillionaire or a billionaire, the real A players work with speed in business. And that is the key to success. I firmly believe that's how I've made my money. I'm not the smartest guy. I'm not the best at this. I'm generally the worst at everything, but I work with speed. That's the key to making money.
One additional topic that I think a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners have is like with family as well, right? So this last year I became a father and I've got a beautiful son.
Oh, nice.
But it's just me and my wife here in Australia, so no grandparents or anything. And that kind of came with its own set of challenges.
Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from the Netherlands. So all families abroad, and it kind of like I was like juggling with so many plates. I was like 20 plates spinning and trying to help my wife and with the business and everything. Now you and your wife, you have 3 beautiful daughters. How have you guys been able to kind of manage the family and the business growth, and how did you guys do that?
It's stressful on my wife. See, personally, I love work. So when I work, to me, it's a holiday. When I go on a family vacation, that's work.
That's work.
That's work for me.
Yeah.
And everyone's built differently. And don't get me wrong, I love my daughters and I love my wife, but I really love working. I love building and developing and taking an idea and executing that idea and seeing it thrive. That just gets me off. Like, it's really my thing. So at times, my daughters and my wife get annoyed because I'm in my office at home on a call, I don't know, writing website copy, whatever it may be. And it annoys them because they want me to come play cafes. And I'm like, I love you, but I don't really want to play cafes. Daddy wants to
build a business.
Build a business. And I think, yes, you can balance both out. But I know, I also think I'm very goal-driven and I've got ambitions and goals I want to achieve.
Yeah. Do you ever get that subconscious guilt? Like I get it often because I've got 2 daughters myself.
Oh, you get
yeah. So I'm if I'm going for a third, I'm going for a third daughter. I hope so.
Really?
Yeah. I would love 3 daughters.
Wow.
But I always get this guilty feeling a little bit.
Yes.
Just
I do as well.
subconsciously, I'm like, like I can keep on grinding it out and smashing and making more money, but I just get this feeling like, that I want to be in the room with them.
No, I'm with you. And I have that, and I go, yeah, I said to myself, Nick, go sit down and play cafes.
Yeah.
So I do that. So tonight, I booked a night off, and I'm going to play board games with my daughters.
Yep.
So I have times where I go, no phone, no work. It's just me and you, and we're going to hang out and just have some fun.
Yeah.
And you have to do that. But there are times where it's like the work's coming in. I'm like, I love and adore you, but I've just been on holiday for 2 weeks with you, and I didn't work for 2 weeks. Daddy now needs to grind.
Yeah.
So I went away over the Christmas break to Costa Rica. I didn't work, and I was with the girls for 2 weeks.
Yes.
With them. But now I'm like, Daddy now needs to make some money.
Yeah. Daddy needs to.
Yeah.
I love that he says, Daddy needs to make some money.
Yeah, because you've got to find that balance where they still get the love and attention they need, and your wife gets the love and attention she needs, but also you still got businesses to build.
I think that's the title of the pod, man. Daddy needs to make some money.
Yeah, Daddy needs to make some money.
You got some very interesting hobbies like collecting dinosaur bones and skulls. Tell me about that.
So I saw that Leonardo DiCaprio was collecting dinosaurs, and the investment appreciated. So he actually made money on his investments. And I love dinosaurs. I'm like, fuck, I love dinosaurs, and it's a great investment. So I started digging around, and I found an archaeologist in Siberia who could find me dinosaurs or source me dinosaurs. So then I reached out to him, and he basically sourced some dinosaurs, and I've purchased woolly rhino. I have a triceratops on its way at the moment, and other bits and pieces. So,
is it like a business expense? Like, for instance,
no.
I was at some stage really into Aboriginal art, and I was like there's like one artist that I really loved, and I was like, should I buy this like 80K painting? And I was like, I can write it off the business. It's ssort of like in the office.
Yeah, you can put it in the office, but I want to put that in the office here with a lack of security in this office.
It needs like a glass. Like
yeah. Because the issue is when you purchase dinosaur artifacts from Siberia, it's classed as part of Russia.
Oh.
Meaning you pay 50% tax on that. So if you buy it for $1 million, then you pay another 500,000 in tax, and then you've got your shipping costs. So I wouldn't store it in the office.
Do you have any other wealth building kind of like, I know you build so many companies, and then kind of like at some stage you sell them, or like you keep building the portfolio that builds it up in itself. Beside the bones, the property.
The challenge is in the next 10, 20 years, we don't know where AI is going to go. Like, we really don't. Is going to be mass global unemployment? Is money going to be useless in 20 years? I don't know. No one really knows what's going to happen. But everyone needs somewhere to live. And the best deals I've done in the past 10, 15 years, it's always been in property. I've always made money on property.
Like single homes or farmland, or like what do you...
Generally not farmland unless you're prepared to bank it and wait 20, 30 years. I've made my money in residential, and the yields are about 3 to 4%, which is not great, or commercial property where you get 7 to 9% yields. So you get a good return, and you get capital growth in that property. And yes, it's not going to make you rich quickly, but over a 10-year period, you can make great money. So I recommend to anyone that has money saved, buy a property. It's safe.
We as founders also invest in property. And it's very interesting. Like yesterday, I had a very special day. I had the settlement come through from our first investment property. That was also my last day with my father. He was here on a holiday, and we caught a huge 20-kilogram tuna. So it's like also the biggest kind of trophy fish we ever caught.
Your day.
And we also closed an awesome client.
Great.
So it's just like the
fish, property, and
client.
Money.
Yeah. And I've had, and Dean and I, we talk always about like synchronicities, like random events happen at the same time. and like all these crazy things that when you look at it, it's like there's no way that this is a coincidence. Do you believe in such things, so like higher powers?
I believe in destiny and things are preordained. I believe in
predetermined.
Yeah, I believe things are predetermined. So, I'll give you a great example. All this is energy. This is probably more energy. So, just before Christmas, I was eating these bag of chips, and they're called Sunseeker chips. And the first time I've had these bag of chips, and I just opened them, cracked them open, said, these are great chips. 30 minutes later, I got an email from the founder of Sunseeker Chips, seeing if I was interested to invest in their business. Like, what are the fucking chances, though? The first time I had these chips, I'll give you another example. Back in November, I had this longevity device, and I said to myself, might sell this because I don't use it anymore. And I said, a great person for this would be Chris Hemsworth. Like I said, he's the ideal person to buy this because it's quite expensive, and he's massively into his longevity equipment. 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from Chris Hemsworth. Hey, I hear you're selling. You got some longevity equipment. Are you interested in selling? Or from his team? Fucking energy, mate. Energy. Like, what are the chances of this stuff happening?
No, we talk about this all the time.
Energy. It's a real thing. Like, I'm sure you guys have had this where you've thought of someone, and I don't know, an hour later they've messaged you. Like, it's real.
We had it with this podcast, I swear. Like, I was looking at some of your pods, and I think like the Swiss one, the founder from Swiss on your podcast is a great interview. And I was watching that one, a few others. And this was about 6 months ago. And for some reason, after watching a few pods, I was like, yeah, Nick is going to be our guest. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why it was, but it was just like.
And then I asked him. I said, "Cos, who do you want me to call?"
Yeah.
we had a chat. She goes, "I got Nick's number." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, I'll do it right now."
Yeah, cool. It worked.
Yeah. I actually forgot to ask you a question, because you jump into these businesses and you have obviously business partners, right? Have you ever had a situation when you thought this is the right person to work with and this is the wrong person to work with, and also going to that energy thing as well? You have to be specific.
No, yes and no. There are times when I've met people before I've gone into business with them or considered going into business with them and realize he's the wrong guy or she's the wrong person. And there are other times when I've gone into business with them and after a month I'm like, damn, this is the wrong person to do business with, but it's too late. I've had a guy who was a friend of mine. I did business with him and it ended badly. So, and I knew deep down that it was bad. He wasn't right, but I ignored my gut and I ignored the energy in the signals. But my wife kept telling me, don't do business with this guy. Woman intuition. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm a massive believer in when you meet someone and you can feel their energy, whether it's off or not. If it's off, just avoid them. Yeah, don't do business with them. Just
based off energy, the feeling.
Yeah.
And obviously you find out.
And usually it's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually it's right.
Nah, like we literally were talking about this in a car. For me, it's like, for me, what really lights my business up and like when I'm really getting excited is like when I talk to people, it's like, oh, this is fun. This is excitement. There's like something, this person has like good energy. And when you walk off a conversation, like you feel good. It's like, oh wow, like I've learned something. He told me something. I told something. And those are kind of the relationships I really want to cultivate and improve in my life. Because I've had like bad clients in the past and stuff. And it's just like those nasty experiences can really sap you. And it's like you keep thinking about it. And it's like, it
saps your energy. Actually, for anyone listening to this podcast, if you're considering going into business with someone that you don't really know, or you do know them and they're a great talker and they make you feel warm and fuzzy and they talk really well, but if there's red flags, meaning they show up late to certain things, you message them, they don't get back to you straight away, they're not diligent, don't go into business with them. Because if they're like that in their personal life, good chance in their business life, they'll be disorganized. And you need someone who's organized, driven, and hungry to win in business.
And look, Nick, really appreciate the answer and you as our guest. we also want to be super respectful of your time. You've been like super fast, like running around the office as well.
Yeah, no, I've got a bit on.
Yeah,
It's all good.
we just want to, like, our last kind of question is like, is there a topic or a question that we perhaps didn't ask you that you want to talk about today or quickly share?
I know it's a question for you guys, actually. What's your New Year's resolutions, if any?
Yeah, so last year was, for me, and the best and the wildest year of my life.
Yeah.
So I had the biggest agency growth in my business, and we took on a lot of like very big kind of like individuals and like famous people on board. My son was born as well, and kind of all together it was like pretty stressful. It was like super full on. And on top of that, I also happened to fly airplanes, and I acquired a pilot license on 2 airplanes. So altogether, like my last year was like just too crazy, and I felt like I was doing too many things. So this year, I want to focus just solely on specific things in our business that have gone really well, cut everything else out, focus on family, and getting lean as well. Like I felt last year, I was like really not sleeping well, not eating well. This year, I have a goal to only drink water, which is a pretty extreme goal, only water or tea. So cut out coffee, any of the, like zero, Coke Zero, and like none of those.
Yeah.
So I want to keep doing that and just like really want to purify myself and get myself to the peak optimal state that I can be.
I have to thank Cos, because I wouldn't be honestly sitting here today and running a business if it wasn't because when I met Cos, I was at another agency, working. And the interesting thing for me, Nick, is that, I had all these goals that I honestly didn't think I'd be able to achieve, and Cos helped me get started there. But my sort of New Year's thing is, now that I've hit this goal, I thought it'd make me really happy, the money and everything, and it actually hasn't, and that's been the interesting. I'm so grateful for the flexibility, and we're just talking about this in the car, but the money hasn't made me happy, and I thought it would. And now my goal is, okay, well, what does happy mean now? What does happy look like? And that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Money doesn't buy you happiness, but it buys you opportunity. That's what I found. So it gives me things or opportunities that I wouldn't normally have access to if I didn't have the wealth. Just remember that, yeah? So it's what you do with the money that counts. Back to your one about being healthy. I always say to my friends, stay alive for the next 10 years, and you'll live well beyond 100 years of age. Just stay alive. So optimize your health, dial in your sleep, your food, look at peptides, your hormones, like just be an absolute weapon, and you'll live well beyond 100 years of age. That's my tip for anyone listening to this podcast.
Wow. And what is yours? So, because you have pretty much achieved like pretty much everything already. Do you have like specific goals?
Well, my wife wanted me to have more personal and family goals. I said, nah, it's always around business. For me, it's around, mine are very plain, man. Launching new businesses, scaling new businesses, and buy more property. And what I do is, at the start of every year, is I actually put all my goals on my screensaver on my laptop. So every day when I start my laptop or when I'm wandering around, I can see exactly what I've agreed to. And I'm held accountable to those goals. So anyone listening to this podcast, put your goals on your screensaver so you can see them every single day.
Yeah, wow. Well, thank you so much for all the value today, Nick. It's been a pleasure to have you and just really enjoy the conversation us three having today.
Thanks, guys.
Where can people find you if they want to learn a little bit more about what you do?
You find me on Instagram, Nick Bell, or LinkedIn, Nick Bell. Yeah, just look for Ding Dong.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.